Hello, my dear students. I am Pronab Mozumdar, lecturer, Govt.Rajoir College, Rajour, Madaripur. Today I am going to teach you present perfect progressive and a comparison between present progressive and present perfect progressive. Okay, now let us start. Dear students, in my previous class I taught you the present progressive. Today I am going to discuss present perfect progressive. Okay, let us start, please. Dear students, we use the present perfect progressive to talk about things that have been going on up to now. Dear students, we use the present perfect progressive to talk about things that have been going on up to now. So, we saw the use sector of present progressive, that means present perfect progressive. Now, we should know the formation of the tense first. Okay, now, let us see the formation of the tense. At first, subject plus have been or has been plus ing form of the verb plus object plus extension. This is the formation of present perfect progressive tense. Now let us see some examples. Actually, present perfect progressive starts in the past, but it is still going on. Let us see. Example number 1. I have been reading. I have been reading for 2 hours. I have been reading for 2 hours. You are working since morning. Number 3, she is crying for half an hour. Look, dear friends or dear students, I have been reading for 2 hours. You are working since morning. She is crying for half an hour. At the end of his sentence, there is a mentioning of time, and the time sits with for and since. If our thing has been going for a period of time we use for, and if it starts from a point of time we use since. So, dear friends, now let us see more examples. Okay, dear friends, we should learn where to sit or where to put since and where to put for. If our work begins from a point of time, we use since, but if it runs for a period of time, we use for. Now, dear students, we are going to learning more examples. Look at the board. It has been raining for 3 hours. For 3 hours. The boy is suffering from fever. Since Saturday last. Dear students, look. The rain has been, or the raining has been going on for a period of time, and that is why we can put here for, and the boy has been suffering from fever since Saturday last. So, the boy has been suffering for or from a particular time, or for a particular time, or the boy suffering started from a particular time, and that is why we can put here since. So, we can easily say, if the work runs for a period of time, we use for, and if the work starts from a particular time or from a point of time, then we use since. Okay, now we will see the difference. We will see the difference between present progressive and the present perfect progressive. Now, dear students, see the comparison, or we will now see the difference between present continuous and present perfect continuous. Now, let us draw a table. We should divide the board into two. Present progressive, present perfect progressive, present perfect progressive. Now we will see first the difference between the present progressive and the present perfect progressive. Okay. First, we use the present progressive to talk about things that are going on. Let us see an example. I am working. Now, let us see the present perfect progressive, the definition of present perfect progressive, or how to use present perfect progressive. We use the present perfect progressive to talk about things that have been going on up to now. So, in the definition, in both cases, what is the difference? That are going on now or around now. Dear students, we use the present perfect, present progressive to talk about things that are going on just around or just now or around now or at now or around now when we speak. But the present perfect progressive, we use the present perfect progressive to talk about things that have been going on up to now. It means the work here started in the past, but it is still going on. But in the present progressive, the work is going on when we speak or at the moment when we speak. And see the example of present progressive, I am working. But here, I have been working. I have been working for 2 hours. Here is a mentioning of a time, but here is no mentioning of time. And my working is going on at the moment when we speak. But here, if we observe very closely, we can see that my working started 2 hours ago. My working here started 2 hours ago, but it is still going on. But in case of present progressive, when it started or when my work started is not known to us, but we can say that it is still, or we can see that it is still going on. But when it started is totally not clear to us. But in the case of present perfect progressive, when the time of the starting of the work is clear to us. In the example, we see that my working started 2 hours ago. So, we can see the difference between the two examples. Now, another example. You are living in Paris. You have been living in Paris since 2010. Look at both examples. In first case, we see that our example is you are living in Paris. You are still living in Paris is clear to us. But when your living starts, here is not clear to us. So there is no mentioning of time of our start, time of the start of the work. But in case of present perfect progressive, we see you have been living in Paris since 2010. So here our living or your living started in 2010, but you are still living in Paris. So we can say that things have been going on up to now. Starting in the past, things are still going on. Things are still going on in case of present perfect progressive. But in present progressive, only we can know or we only know that things are going on at this moment. But when the things is started is not clear to us, or there is no mentioning of the time of start of the work. Let us see another example. The baby is crying. The baby is crying. We can simply know that the baby is crying now. But from when the baby started its crying is not known to us. Now let us see the example in the present perfect progressive. The baby has been crying for its mother for an hour. Now, let us see the example. The baby has been crying for its mother for an hour. Here, we can easily understand the starting time. The baby has been crying. If you say that the baby has been crying for its mother for half an hour, we can easily see that the crying of the baby started an hour ago. The crying or the work started an hour ago, but it is still, or the baby is still crying now. Or in the present perfect progressive, we only can know that the thing is going on, but when the thing started is not clear to us, or the time of the start of the work is not clear to us. But in case of present perfect progressive, when our work starts is clear to us, or the time of the start of our things or of our work is clearly vivid for us, and that is why at the end of the sentence we use for plus time and since plus time. And we have already said when we use since and when we use for. We know that if the work starts from a point of time, we use since, and if the work has been going for a period of time, we use for. Dear students, up to this we will do today, but we should be more conscious about the coronavirus because it is now getting its devastating shape, because the winter has already set in. So my advice for all of you, stay at home, stay safe. Thank you all.